Anyone who's ever bought an RV could probably tell you a horror story about the dealer that they bought from. We're no different. Our first two RV purchase experiences were not great. So in getting ready to buy our 19 MKS Outdoors RV travel trailer, we did lots of research and had the best experience that we've had, partly because we got great recommendations on the best dealer to buy from. We've come back to that dealer today. We're here in Pendleton, Oregon at Thompson RV, and we're here with Corrin, who made our purchase experience just fantastic.
Thank you.
Corrin, thank you so much for having us back. We had an experience different than we'd ever had before, and I kind of wanted to find out what you think makes the dealer different. So.
Oh gosh, well, there's a lot of things. As you know, Pendleton is a small town, right? And we're all family owned and operated. So I think that we have kept that old-fashioned, small family, small town business. Third generation, my brother and I. My grandfather started with Nash Ramblers back in 1953. So, you know, we're going on, what, 72 years of business? So it was my parents, and then my mom is still here, and she still works day to day, and my brother and I.
Before we came, we did a lot of reading and research, and we see the buzz on Thompson RV and Outdoors RV is so positive. And one thing we watched when we were here is to see how other customers were treated, not just how we were treated.
Sure.
And it seemed great. You guys seem to have a real dedication to making sure people come out of here feeling great about what they've bought.
Absolutely, yeah. So, you know, we treat everybody how we would want to be treated. I mean, it's the golden rule, right? But everybody has, like you said, that horror story about buying a car, buying an RV. Nobody wants that. And it's not like it's rocket science. I mean, you just treat everybody the same, treat everybody well.
I think there's different types of businesses where people are in an unhappy situation. Like, let's suppose somebody's going to the dentist because they need serious work done,
right,
that kind of thing,
right,
or they need repairs done on
right,
their house.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like you've got this opportunity that people are coming for an exciting, happy thing.
Agreed.
And it's your chance to just build on that.
I mean, can you imagine? Like, we sell joy and happiness, and all of us love to travel. So we understand that these people, when they're coming to us, they need the best floor plan for whatever their needs are. They need to have a well-built trailer because nobody wants to have problems on the road either. So purchasing the best brand and giving them the best experience possible, yeah, it's joy, it's happiness.
Now, you mentioned about your experience, and I happen to know that you are a fellow RVer,
yes,
and most of your, or all of your family?
Oh yeah,
so,
yeah, all of us RV. Mm-hmm. Everybody here, everybody that works here. Yeah. I mean, Pendleton is definitely, we're so close to the mountains that everybody camps. I mean, it's just something that everybody starts doing when they're little, but obviously my brother and I grew up doing this. So yeah, and I've had, boy, more RVs than I can count because I usually do at least 1 or 2 floor plans a year. My grandpa, his Nash Rambler dealership turned into campers, Aloha travel trailers. So that's why we have a couple in the showroom that are vintage to show those off, because they sold travel trailers.
We saw those and they're beautiful.
Yes, yes. And my mom even grew up. I have a picture of her in one of the old trailers of her and her sister out in front of it was a Corvette. And so she grew up camping, my dad grew up camping, and then of course we followed suit. Well,
it shows, because one of the biggest things, and most of the dealers we've been in, and unfortunately the dealer we bought our own motorhome from, it was clear that RVing was not their primary function in the world, that it was a business to make money.
Right.
And many things were let go as a result. Mm-hmm. So when we picked up our RV from you and saw how things went with the pre-delivery inspection, the PDI, and the cleaning, we moved in, everything was perfect, everything was clean, but it wasn't just because it was our rig. Again, we saw and walked through and talked to other customers.
Yeah.
And I think you should be real proud of what you do.
Thank you.
And obviously there's a passion here with your brother and the whole family.
Correct. Yeah, we're very lucky. We have a great crew. As you've met everybody here, they're all amazing people. So I mean, all the way down to Lee, who does the white glove. I mean, everybody really cares about their job, and they really care about everyone having their trailer be perfect before they leave here. So yeah.
Well, it comes through. And I don't mean to just stand here kind of lathering up how much we appreciate what you did. But the reason I wanted to come back and talk to you is because we were really impressed. We're told all the time how hard it is to find a good dealer and hear nothing but complaints. And our experience when we picked up an expensive motorhome. You know, it's been over 19 years ago now that we picked up our rig. And not to, you know, I'm not going to name the dealer, but just suffice it to say, they're no longer a Newmar dealer. And it doesn't surprise me because their lack of attention to detail showed. And it's clear what we see going on here. And that's everyone. Employees who work here have come up to us, and we've seen them come up to others and ask if they need things and help make sure everything is right. Also, when it comes to outdoors RVs, we know that, is that the primary brand you carry?
It has become that way, yeah. So I mean, we've sold numerous brands over the years, but Outdoors RV, we have slowly learned that they're just the best. I mean, as you know, you did a lot of research on a lot of brands, and you
researched for a whole year, and we didn't settle exactly. That's the wrong
not
word.
The correct word.
We decided on, and for us to find a brand that had many of the characteristics that we learned to love, you know, being in a big motorhome, an expensive motorhome, a well-built motorhome. We found that when we were considering going down to a travel trailer, that it was very, very hard to find that. And Outdoors is the closest travel trailer we've seen. And I'm imagining that's one of the reasons you carried the brand.
Correct. Oh, absolutely. And so there are other brands that I won't name names, built locally, that we have chosen to, honestly, we don't sell them anymore. There might be price point trailers that somebody wants to buy because they only want to spend a certain amount of money. And I understand that completely, but it just still didn't feel right for our dealership to be the one to sell them that. We've created what we love and what we, you know, what we believe in, and that's all we want to focus on. And so it makes it easy, honestly. We all specialize in outdoors RV, and that's all we do, and that's okay.
Well, you're only an hour from the factory here, right?
Correct.
Which we've been to as well. Does that give you an advantage when it comes to the speed?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it gives us a lot of advantages. We're very lucky that a lot of the people, I've known them when they worked at Fleetwood. So, I mean, even Darren Nelson, he was the manager at Outdoors RV just up until a couple of years ago. He finally retired. But his mom used to babysit my brother and I. You know, there's people in design. Oh, yeah. There's people in design that I've known my entire life. So we're friends with everybody over there, too. So, I mean, if we need something, often they're commuting home. They bring us whatever we need. So we're very lucky to have that close communication and tight-knit, you know, relationship with them.
It seems like it works well. And are there other brands that you carry here besides Outdoors?
Northwood. Yeah, so sister company to Outdoors RV. We do the Nash products, and then the Arctic Fox, just the truck campers, and Wolf Creek truck campers.
That's the same parent company?
Same parent company, correct. But two different manufacturers, and they definitely keep things separate. So even though very similar in quality and build, the Outdoors RV is still, for us, our number one.
Corrin, I have to say that someone who's been on YouTube for a long time, your YouTube videos were instrumental in not only us picking the Outdoors brand, but in coming here. You do a really good job. And it's clear that you are a fellow RVer and you know your stuff.
Yeah,
how long have you been making those videos?
So we started way back in 2011, but we never really took off in the sense that we didn't continue doing it. And then I would say a little bit pre-COVID, we started making some videos and noticing a lot of traction. Then during COVID, when people were at home and maybe their RV dealership locally was closed down or whatever, we were getting a lot of requests to see the floor plans, see the, you know, with the slide outs in or whatever. So that's when it really took off. I would say it was 2020.
As someone who, you know, has tried to make decent YouTube videos for a long time, the amount of information you provide is really good. And it gave us an idea on what would work for us. And you mentioned floor plan, and the 19 MKS that we are currently on is our exact floor plan. This isn't actually our rig,
right?
But it's amazing to us how much space there is. But the information you gave about how to decide based on what the floor plan is, how things are set up, was very helpful.
Thank you.
So what floor plan model do you have for yourself right now?
Boy, right now I am in between trailers, but I have a 27 TRX toy hauler coming in a titanium series. So I've been a dirt bike rider since I was in my early 20s. Fun fact that you probably didn't know about me.
I did not know
yeah,
that.
And so all of my boys have dirt bikes, and
Okay.
they're just now getting to that age where we can start taking it and trail riding, not just riding around the house. So we're pretty excited. We're going to do a video of us going down to the Oregon coast and riding at the dunes. So I'm excited. It's been years since I've used a toy hauler. So it was time. It was time to do a toy hauler.
How perfect. And how long is that?
It's a 27, but it's actually like 32.5 feet tip to tip.
And what do you tow that with?
So I have a GMC 3500 standard bed.
We're big GMC
Yes,
fans now.
me too.
My first pickup truck is a GMC, but only a 1500. And it's important that when we talk about that kind of thing, and the reason I asked is a lot of people don't know what truck they might need to tow a particular trailer.
Correct.
And it is one thing about outdoors I noticed, it's heavy.
They're heavy.
And they're heavy for a reason because,
Quality. You can't, yeah, they don't sacrifice weight.
and the insulation and
I'm really glad you brought that up because often people will go out and buy the pickup first and then call and want to tow a 250 RDS Blackstone. And then they're really upset when I have to tell them that they really shouldn't do that. In fact, it's one of those things I wish people would just believe me that it's not going to do it no matter what.
Yeah.
Because on paper, sometimes it looks like it will. But then when you get it loaded, as you know, once you get it fully loaded, they're heavier than you think.
well, and also all the truck manufacturers want to tout that
Correct.
one number that like our truck is rated to tow 12,900 pounds,
Right.
and our 19 MKS has a maximum gross vehicle weight of 8,250, and you'd be like, no brainer, go ahead, buy it and tow it.
Correct.
But we know that that is such a small part of the picture, and we're going to be
Absolutely.
doing another video and blog post
good.
about that topic,
Good.
where people will learn all the factors, all the weights between balancing out their tongue weight
Good.
and maximum loads, not just of the trailer itself, but
Right.
the payload capacity.
Absolutely.
Now, we managed to get by with a 1500, which we did not want to go larger,
Sure.
but we've used every bit of its capability to tow the 19 MKS because it's so solid.
Correct.
How do you guide people if they come to you with a truck, for example,
Sure.
that they've already bought,
Sure.
against, maybe they already owned it, or maybe they didn't follow your
Correct.
advice?
Or they don't want to buy a truck and a trailer at the same time. Plain and simple.
Okay.
So I would say the best advice is if a person has not picked a truck and they call and they say, what should I get? A 3/4 ton, even you don't have to go to a 1 ton, right?
Being
As
a
far as-
3/4 ton is a 2500, right?
Correct. A 2500 or a 3500 obviously is ideal. I have to have a 3500 because I don't know if I'm going to haul a truck camper, a fifth wheel, a toy hauler, or a 19 MKS, right? So I have to be prepared for anything. But a 3/4 ton is a really good middle of the road truck. So if somebody doesn't have one, that's what I would definitely recommend.
You assume, I would imagine that when somebody's
Yes.
buying a trailer, they might not have the experience to know how to make those safety decisions
Correct.
correctly.
If they've never towed, and often that's the person who has the half ton and wants the big trailer. And so, as much as I say that I'm selling dreams and joy, every once in a while I have to be the dream crusher, which is not my favorite thing. But almost always people will end up thanking me that I didn't just sell them a trailer, because boy, I've seen some pretty crazy setups that come in. People go, this doesn't feel safe.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, who on earth sold you that trailer to go with
go with
that
that
truck?
truck.
I mean, that's just not a good idea.
Again, your videos helped us kind of hone in on what the options were, because we kind of came around to the Outdoors brand. We have a couple of friends who have them,
Oh, okay.
and they raved about them, and it kind of steered us in that direction. And then we started researching online and found that the same thing we're experiencing now has existed for a while, and that is that when we mention that we have bought an Outdoors RV, everyone says, you are going to love it.
Yeah.
And we haven't heard any negativity yet.
Yeah, it's very rare. I mean, and especially we do our PDI and our service beforehand. And so we try to really mitigate any future warranty. So we'll have people that'll pick up and they go all the way to Alaska, because maybe they came from the East Coast and it was their dream to go to Alaska. They go all the way up, hit us on the way back. And we had one gentleman from Virginia, and he had one screw that came loose. I mean,
Well,
2 months of traveling.
That's exactly what
Yeah.
we're experiencing. We had one small screw that came loose, and they're going to fix it today. They
Right.
probably already have while we're here on this rig.
Right.
There's been the punch list that you hear about. So most people who haven't owned RVs haven't heard about this, but all of us who've owned them know that when you buy a new RV, it's sort of like buying an old home or even a new one, where you're going to have lots and lots of things on the punch list for the builder to say there's all these things wrong.
Right.
And that was true even on our expensive diesel pusher.
Right.
We have not experienced anything like that here.
Yeah. Well, and that is, again, that's our goal, because we have people that come from the East Coast or Alaska or Texas or wherever, Canada, to get their trailers. It's important to us. I mean, if they get home and they have something that needs to be taken care of, it's harder for me to have to call around and find them a service shop and whatnot. So it's in your best interest as well as our best interest to just try and have it be perfect before you ever leave. We also, have people camp
we noticed
for a couple days in Pendleton.
When we picked ours up, we stayed here in town for a couple of days.
Right.
And I assume you're doing that so if people, as they're starting to use their systems, if they have a problem, they're right here and you can take care of it.
Correct. Exactly. Yep. So if they do need something, they just swing right back by and we get them taken care of and they're on the road.
But we saw what was going on here. The day we picked our rig up, I think there were half a dozen people lined up here.
Right.
And we're all camping out and all commiserating on our excitement.
Right.
It's
very exciting, and it's this big new toy, and it's not just that though, it's the possibility. It's all the trips, and so we feel really blessed that we get to be a part of that. I mean, we get to,
Your enthusiasm comes through, and we've talked enough that we share it, and we're having a fantastic time. Mm-hmm. We're super happy about it. I can't thank you enough for working with us to make this such a great experience, and again, not working with us like from a YouTube or filming standpoint so much as your staff has been here in the way we've seen them be for everybody. That's made it really great, and I just want to say thanks so much for doing that.
Well, we're glad that you did your research and found us and found the brand,
and we'll make sure we put a link down below in the video description to your YouTube channel, because if somebody isn't sure about exactly what they want, your videos can really help them because they're so thorough.
Thank you.
You know your stuff.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks so much, Corrin. Really appreciate it.
Thanks.
We're pleased to be able to finally live the advice we've been giving everybody for years, which is to get smaller RVs rather than bigger RVs if you think you can be comfortable in it. And this has worked out great for us. And thanks again to Thompson RV and Outdoors RV for making our experience so far the best RVing experience we have had yet. And I think after more than 20 years full-timing in a very high-end motorhome, that's saying a lot. Thanks so much for watching. Safe travels, and we'll see you on the road.